Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Friday, June 6th, 2024. I'm Astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, thanks for being a part of highvibe.tv. And if you're not, well, you're missing out on these every day, plus all the other shows that I do, plus my weekly deep astrology and my sun sign horoscopes and every other awesome show and all my schools. You can get a premium membership or the basic membership. The premium, you get all the schools, plus you get schools that I continue to keep doing. Plus, all the memberships have the full spiritual social network in the apps and so forth. That's just like Twitter or Instagram, and you can post videos and so forth. So we're a full-blown spiritual community. We ain't just some like little place where you just watch a crappy little video on a crappy app or a website. It's a full community. We're already out of that old system. Make sure that you check it out, highvibe.tv. Well, we're here today to talk about this new moon in Gemini, and this is quite the new moon that we're going to be covering right now because one, well, it's a Gemini new moon, but really it's right as we're in this inferior conjunction and cazimi of Venus, while the big square to Saturn and Pisces is happening. And the pressure cooker of this new moon is one that, if y'all remember back in 2021, when I told you all it would be a shattered reality, well, if you think of all this Pisces energy and with Saturn, of course, in square and Neptune at the end of Pisces, do you think things just go away? Do you think it's a coincidence that this whole week has been about all the stuff that happened in 2021 and 2020? Why is that past coming back? There's a lot to this new moon to look at. So without further ado, let's take a look at it. It's good to be with you all here at the High Vibe TV studios. I am live, and let's go right into it. So, hey, share my screen. It's been quite a weird day, actually a weird week for me with a lot of computer stuff. It's been really weird, like a lot of weird stuff happening. All right, well, new moon happening in about 2 hours from now, but it's going to be happening here on the West Coast here at 7:37 a.m. Pacific. We're having it at 16 degrees and 22 minutes of Gemini. Now, I think that's where I did the post. That's right. Okay, yeah, here it is. Actually, it's happening right now. That's so funny. Literally, it's happening right now, 5:37 a.m., and it's 5:37 a.m. where I'm at right now. Now that's kind of crazy. I did not plan on that. But it's happening with Venus in this inferior conjunction. Remember that Venus is on the opposite side of the sun from Earth here. And Venus is right at the heart of the sun right now, even though you can't see it, right? She just disappeared from being the morning star. And she's quietly in her dressing room on the other side, getting ready to be the evening star when she gets through this whole cycle, right? Every 9 months we go through this, whether it's the retrograde or the inferior conjunction, which we're in the inferior conjunction. Now, in many ways, I call this like a tearing the new sheet of paper, and especially in Gemini, writing the new notes. And also it is a youthful, positive masculine sign, Gemini. Mercury is the ruler, and Mercury is in Gemini, and it's been with Jupiter, but that's already done. So we've been seeing this Mercury-Jupiter conjunct really fast. Mercury's at its fastest speed. It's in its fastest part of its orbit as well. So Mercury is doing over 2 degrees a day. So Mercury's just flying by. It just went past Jupiter. It was like, yeah, that was nice. And Jupiter, of course, is in detriment here in Gemini, and we've just seen Jupiter ingress into here. And of course, the last time we saw Jupiter in here was in 2012 in June. And that was during a Venus retrograde that was the last of the transit of Venus. That's the technical term of it, where Venus eclipses the sun. I hope you saw that, because that won't happen again unless you live another 100 plus years. It's every 120 years. So this is a really weird new moon for this Venus energy, because Venus, yes, it retrograded in 2020. in Gemini, but there was no eclipse. And this is a little weird because now it's like, yeah, there is no more eclipse. This is the inferior conjunction. So this truly now has got out of the transit of Venus. So it is this new way to look at life. This is all about our environment. This is all about how do we have a good state of mind? And through these troubled times, well, that's the big square to Saturn that's here in Pisces at 18 degrees and 58 minutes. We're about to go to 19 degrees. That's going to be the last degree we'll see this year. And we're already at Neptune, and that's the ruler of Pisces, at 29 degrees and 45 minutes. You know, believe it or not, the Civil War didn't start with Neptune in Aries. It started at 29 degrees and the last minutes of Pisces. So this is a very critical degree. It's especially as it's the ruler of Pisces, you know, number one, on a most simple basis, if you're having a mental health problem, go speak to a professional. Don't just try and fight it off, right? You're having anxiety to crazy thoughts or whatever, depression or any of these things. This is not the time to play around before the government starts to take over that whole world, which is the next thing that they'll probably do here. So number one, you're not losing it, but this is a lot of backlogged energy. That's what Pisces is. It's the stuff we're clearing. It's the stuff that we soak up subconsciously. And it's also a very beautiful and spiritual place, but we are in this Mercury ruled world right now. But there is this battle with Mercury being the ruler of Gemini and then Neptune being the ruler of Pisces, and this big mutable square energy. Now, this new moon is a little bit weird at the same time because Mars, which is in Aries and is the ruler, so we have a lot of these energies in their ruling signs, right? These planets that rule them, they're here. And so there's a lot of domicile energy. And it's very difficult because whether you look at it from a North Node in Aries perspective, and that's dispositing Mars, well, like you could be like, no, that's the place to look. And then no, well, Mercury, it's the ruler of Gemini and the new moon's here and Venus and this inferior conjunction. And oh, okay, yeah. And then, oh, wait, hold on. Neptune's at the last degree of Pisces and it's the ruler of Pisces and Saturn's there too. Oh, well, I guess let's go over there. It's about how do we bring everything in? Now, what's interesting about this new moon is just yesterday, we also are seeing in the helio now Venus breaking away from all the planets that were all just on one side of the solar system. Now Venus is alone. So there's a lot of emphasis on Venus in our lives. Now with the South Node that is in Libra, dispositing, and this is an energy that I really feel we have to pay attention to, especially the Libra side of it is much more about the relational aspect. The Venus side is much more, you comfortable within yourself, do you like the color of your shirt, stuff like that. The Libra energy is that air sign, that cardinal energy and where we want to engage. And it is in opposition to, of course, Aries, where Mars is the ruler. I see this as a very interesting moment in our lives of how do we better relate with our past. We're going to have to face a lot of stuff that is no longer, or if you have faced it, it's more about just remembering, okay, let me keep focusing and being curious about what's ahead in my life. And that can be hard to do, but we've had so much Aquarius energy, especially with Pluto that's still here in Aquarius. It will ingress back September 1st. And to remember that this is a time where Jupiter, Venus, we've seen these cool conjunctions here. We've seen these great trines to Pluto that are in Gemini. And Jupiter's looking ahead at Mercury and it's looking ahead at the sun, this new moon and Venus and going, all right, there's a lot of things that are possible, but we have to keep asking the questions. We don't want to live in I already know what's going to happen. And I think that's the big pattern. The new relationship with, you don't know exactly what's going to happen, especially if you're not basing it off facts, if you're going off, and this might trigger the spiritual community, but intuition is not the guide without it having some sort of logical fact on top, right? So we're not living in a world where you just go off your gut without having some logic now that actually backs it up. So I think it's very important right now for us to really look at like what stuff doesn't really matter in the sense of, do I just keep being in a loop? Now with Saturn in square to this new moon. This means that this whole entire next month is going to definitely challenge you. And these challenges are tired old systems in your life, especially spiritually, things that are connected to the past, things that really also at the same time make you ultra sensitive to, that really are not beneficial for your growth, especially in that more youthful and exciting spark for life, that curiosity. You know, it's the curiosity that's going to be the best part about this. I will tell you, we are watching the best reality show you've ever watched in the media and the world right now. And that's curious enough for me to go, when are they all going to finally reveal that half of it's green screen, which it is, including in Congress, including in fucking everywhere. I don't care what news network you watch. I can show you just by going on their own YouTubes that they're using green screen. So, you know, you can fall for the lies so much right now and get yourself locked into the shattered reality, but this is what is really happening. The shattered reality and the denial, because what is the biggest part of Pisces? It's denial. No, you know, whatever it might be, right? Like, no, I'm not addicted to drugs, and as you're shooting up fucking some sort of zombie fucking heroin, like, you know what I mean? Like, not even heroin, right? Like something even worse. It's one of those really weird moments in life where I do feel that people really have to see it from the way that the astrology has been trying to show us. Now, in 2021 in May, we were in the Saturn in Uranus square. Now, that was also while Jupiter was in Aquarius. It came back into Pisces and then it retrograded back. Now, why do you think I literally told the world, I was like, hell no, don't go get that stupid fucking vaccine as an astrologer? Why? Why was I saying it before it came out? In the summer of 2020, before it even came out. Don't get it. And y'all know, I thought Trump was cooler than Hillary. I voted for Trump. And fucking, I was definitely not going to vote for Joe Biden. And Trump was pushing it. So you'd think if I loved Trump so much that I would have just fucking rolled up my sleeve and said, fuck yeah, Trump's putting out a vaccine. I'm going to go get that shit. But no, I'm not stupid. I'm an astrologer. And this is a problem because if you look at it right now, and I can't wait, next week, I'm going to be doing a live with Robert Phoenix. He put out a poll, and then I put out the same poll. And this is what the poll is saying right now. And I'm going to show you, this is pretty crazy. So Robert Phoenix asked this question: do you think that astrologers who recommended getting the vax need to have their credibility reassessed? I ran the same poll. 92% of the people said yes, and only 8% of the people said no. Now, there was 1.8 thousand people who saw it and only 290 people who had the balls to actually push it and give the vote. So out of 290 votes, though, that's a lot. Now, at the same token, Robert Phoenix ran the same one and the exact same data. He had 204 votes and he had 2.6 thousand people see it. 92% of the people think that any astrologer that was recommending the vax needs their credibility reassessed. I agree with that. Him and I are going to talk about that. I'm going to save that for our live next week here on YouTube. But this is where I want to go into. This new moon is bringing the shattered reality that, for those who have had the eyes to see, has already been going on for 3 years. But the denialism of collectively has reached the limit. There is no more limit that's left. Saturn was squaring Uranus, and Mercury went retrograde on top of Venus. Y'all remember this? Or no, you probably don't. Unfortunately, with the North Node that was in Gemini. Now, what happened from May 29th through when the Mercury retrograde ended and stationed direct at 16 degrees of fucking Gemini, where this new moon Venus is? Y'all remember? I want you all to maybe actually go into the past with all this Pisces shit going on right now. I seem to remember the world being retarded as fuck and following a AI fake president that literally fucking on July 4th was telling people, if you've got the vaccine, have your hot dogs and fucking you can walk around without a mask because you won't spread this shit. Huh. Yeah, I remember that. I remember being an unvaccinated person screaming on YouTube every fucking day, telling everybody, don't fucking get it. Don't ruin your kids' lives. Don't fucking kill yourself. Don't kill your kids. Don't fucking ruin your life. Don't ruin your soul. They won't even tell you what's in it. Well, this new moon, because that was also after Uranus went stationed direct in the middle of that retrograde, and Saturn was in square that whole time. Nobody wanted to listen to anybody that had any common sense or even that was using the astrology to help people understand like what was really going on. No, it was like weird. Nobody wanted to. Okay. I'll give you an example. Federal government. This is on July 16th. So I just did July 2021 just because as Mercury was coming to that fucking last degrees before it's stationed at 16 degrees of Gemini. Federal government unlikely to mandate vaccines. U.S. Surgeon General says. Oh, we know that was a lie. They fucking did. And retards out there fucking went and fucking did it. I got to save my job that probably isn't even around anymore or isn't paying you or is about to lay you off. Right? Okay. Full approval of Pfizer's COVID vaccine is a high FDA priority. Acting commissioner who used to be the head of Pfizer. Yeah, I remember that too. Biden says platforms like Facebook are killing people with COVID-19 misinformation. Well, we all know at that time, if you don't take it, you're going to die. Oh, and all of the data that's just come out, even though it's been coming out, the UK, it happened here in the US. If you got one and while you were waiting for the second one and you died, that's unvaccinated. Or if you got one and you didn't get one at the right timing, and you died, that was an unvaccinated person. So all of the data is that there wasn't unvaccinated people like somebody like me who chose not to take a shot dying. So the denial has become so extreme in this collective. I bet you so many people are going to go off this video because they can't even handle the truth. This is the hardest new moon of the collective's life. The biggest denial on a scale of where over billions of people are in denial. Or current COVID-19 vaccine data provides enough evidence to get vaccinated. Oh, it does. The same guy, the U.S. Surgeon General, who you don't see anymore, by the way, and he was always on a green screen, a really shitty one, literally told you, no, the government won't mandate it. There's no way. At least 6 states will require grade school students to wear masks regardless of their vaccination status. But that was right. I thought on July 4th, eat your hot dog. Thank you for getting vaccinated. You can go outside and have a great time. If you don't have it, you can't go outside. I can't go to NORWAC even in 2024 because they force you to get a fucking COVID test that don't even work. I'm fucking going to take that shit and put that shit up your nose. That's our crazy astrology community. Just 2 weeks ago. So do you think they go by science or astrology or evolutionary astrology or anything? No, they don't. They don't even practice it because they're fucking vax brained out. They fucking lost their mind. It's sad. Decision on full approval of the Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine will come much sooner than January. How do you know that if you don't even know if it fucking works good or not? This is all just as Mercury's starting to stop in the craziness as it's coming towards 16 degrees and where the sun is going to come. So the degrees that I'm talking about where Mercury was retrograde 3 years ago is exactly where the sun is going to be coming after this new moon as it squares Saturn. All this shit is the denial. Plus, oh yeah, the Ukraine war won't happen. This won't happen. That won't happen. Right? Arizona governor says schools can't force unvaccinated students to quarantine if exposed. Oh, okay. That sounds like common sense. But we don't even have to keep doing it because it's so much. Unvaccinated people face extreme vulnerability. Oh, Dr. Fauci says, the same guy who made up 6 foot fucking distance that doesn't even fucking work. I think you get my drift. That at this point right now, this is quite the crazy new moon, because that's where that last Mercury retrograde in Gemini with the North Node gave you a destined message of a shattered reality. And now I've been saying this shit for a long time, and I know it's been a minute since I came back to tell you, but I wait till the astrology comes back. I don't know if people remember this either, but we'll just do one more alignment. Let's just do one more. Why don't we actually look at, well, today's what, the 6th? Let's do June 5th of 2012. Let's just do it. Why not? And let's do it for I don't know, 12 p.m. Why not? And I'm just using a quick Astro Gold here because I'm on my iPad. Oh, damn. Oh, that's right. The last Venus eclipse of the transit of Venus, of the sun and Venus, but when it was in a cazimi of a retrograde, not an inferior conjunction, a fucking massive cazimi, a Venus passing Earth that we could see, the last one of our lives, happened at 15 fucking degrees and even a little bit more, almost 16 degrees. We're within a half a degree. With Mercury, that was in Gemini too. Oh, that's right. Oh, and Jupiter was about to come into fucking Gemini as well. Oh, so you're meaning to tell me that there's something about these very powerful conjunctions of the sun and Venus at this degree, because then I could just take you and go, let's just go to 2004 during the other one, and I think it's on the 7th, right? It's gonna be I think it's 7th, or I think it's the 8th, 7th or 8th, somewhere around there. Oh, let's just go one more day back. There we go. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, there it was. Boom. On the 7th. Oh, that's right. The sun and Venus met at 17 degrees of Gemini. Oh, there it is. I'll put it to where people can see it better. Again. It met at 17 degrees. Remember, Venus is going backwards. It met at 17. So you mean to tell me that the midpoint of 15 and 17 is 16 degrees where we're at with this conjunction? It is. And where Mercury went direct in 2021 when Saturn was squaring Uranus? Oh, so you mean to tell me that shattered reality is actually happening right now in front of our faces? It is. I had to wear a bandana for a fucking year just to get your guys' attention, but most of y'all fucking were like, fuck Leo King. He's fucking, fuck Leo King. Oh my God. Let me go get my little fucking shot and make my little picture and do a Black Lives Matter square again and fucking do all this fucking crazy shit. Because it's not even about politics. It's about literally how intensely retarded the collective got over the Neptune Pisces transit and completely now has to face the denial of a shattered reality. Experiments gone bad, the collective going through its hardest fucking moment of realizing what has been altered in this reality now? What is truth? And we're watching a show. I don't give a fuck whether it's Trump or Biden or any of them. They're all on green screens. Most of the time, if you watch, I've been in media for fucking over 12 years. Actually, for longer. I've been in media for fucking my first TV show was 2005, so 19 years. What's really going on? Everything has to be a deeper question. And now that these big transits of Venus are over, I just showed you that this is a new moon with Venus that is at the midpoint of the transits of Venus. Yeah. Well, it has Mars at the last couple degrees here of Aries. And this is going to help push us through because this is going to be a difficult, not just new moon, but for the days ahead with the big squares to Saturn. So right as this new moon happens, up the moon, as it's starting to wane, and just within a couple hours, up square Saturn. Up, okay. Then we come through the next couple of days, Venus square Saturn. Oh shit, this weekend, up, Sun square Saturn, up, and then Mars going to be at the end of Aries, and we've already been going through this North Node Chiron conjunction and Mars, right? Then the solar eclipse conjunct Chiron exact at 19 degrees. This Mars leaving has really shown you that, you know, we have to really re-understand where we find strength from in ourselves and let go of parts of ourselves where we try to prove ourselves or that we try to think that we have to be this person that we're not, and accept, you know, who we really are and have the strength to face through. Well, that strength can only come through facing truth. Like it's not going to work if you're too afraid of really actually living in your true essence of, like, I'm not just somebody who followed whatever the universe didn't show me, but what this fake reality showed me, and ended up with all these weird situations. We're at the point now to where Mars is going to come into Taurus, and I'll just show you if you just come ahead, because this is not just a new moon horoscope, really. This is setting the tone of where the best way I could put it is like, you know, was the tea kettle that just started going off and it got annoying. Now you're going to start hearing sirens. We're in that place. We're in that place to the denial of whether it's the Biden laptop to, all the CIA and all these intelligence agencies says that's not true. I'm sorry, but if you're one of those people who fell for all that shit, I really feel bad. That's where my compassion to this Pisces energy is, because this is going to wreck so many souls to either A, adjust in complete form and realize your idea of what you thought was truth has made you look like fucking retarded, but we all care. And you know, we just want you to stop fucking keep trying to keep pushing the collective that way, because it's just not working. And it's at a point to where polls are even out now. And, you know, it's so funny that these organizational based astrologers don't want to even put in themselves in the conversation, because they all fell to what they didn't. I want the organizations to still book me to do a lecture that nobody goes to except the same fucking people that go. Right? So everybody's following all these trends and orgs and all that shit, but none of that astrology community can fucking confront any of this shit or talk to you straight about it. And they actually put it in their horoscopes. Oh, if you know, Virgo, this is a good week to go get the shot. Like, are these fucking people insane? So this stuff, you can't just right now with all this Saturn and Pisces, like, I'm just going to be in denial of whatever it is in your life. Oh, you know what? This is bad in my life, but I'm just going to try and just like ignore it. Oh no. Like, do you think that America is going to be able to ignore blowing up Nord Stream? Do you think it's going to be able to ignore giving all this shit to Ukraine? If it's all even true anyway, that's all green screen to me too. But I'll play into it for a second. You can't ignore all that shit. Look what's happening. Like, start to wake up. This is going to be where people are going to have to face. If you are so lost in the reality of what you think, especially understanding the Pluto transit and knowing we are never going back to the world of this huge world of growth and it's going to keep growing, you're just going to keep seeing it, not decay, I'll use a better word. There's no more steroids to the world. Population's going to continue to fall as it has. Birth rates are going to continue to stay very low. And I'm not even talking about the vax shit. This happens on every Pluto as it leaves being in the northern part. When you look at it from actually in a helio chart, or if you're in the solar system, you see that Pluto dips below the celestial equator and comes down into the southern part for over half its transit. And it did that in 2018. The world is in decline, and you have to be accepting of that. It's not a bad thing. It's just more of just how nature works, human nature. That humans aren't here to thrive in the way you thought from 1930 to 2018. That's over. And this is all the denial that's piled up at the most extreme of that. That's what this new moon is like, God tried to show you even from 2004 to 2012 in that 8-year cycle of the 2 Venus eclipses, like, hey, this is where the message from the universe is of what you're here to do. And if you're somebody who didn't hear the message and you're not still playing that tune, and you're not playing that tune of being a messenger of truth, well, then what are you doing? This is a big question about, like, what are you really doing? Is it worth being, and it's very Venus-based, but also with the square to Saturn, are you really working to do something that you fucking hate and that isn't part of your truth, especially when it comes to how you express yourself, and you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are just following, I don't know, a trail of fucking crazy, like, don't even know where they're going energy? But they think they do? Because by this weekend, it's Venus square Saturn, the Sun square Saturn, and then Mars comes to 29, and on Sunday, we are about to come into where the world is about to have the biggest event that will probably rattle the minds of the collective for not just days or weeks, but years to come. And I hate when I have to do this. I'm not somebody who's afraid to do it. I've been doing it on my YouTube for so long now. And y'all still come back because this motherfucker gets it right. Mars comes into Taurus where it's at detriment, and it's going to square Pluto. Now, let's not forget that in 2022, Mars went retrograde in what sign? Gemini. Where did it stop at the beginning of 2023? 8 degrees Gemini. We have not had Pluto in Aquarius with Mars in its detriment to square Pluto. Both of them rule Scorpio, but this is going to be both the rulers of Scorpio in square and opposition to Scorpio. This also is going to place, if you use Antasia, Mars is going to be at 29 of Leo, and that is kind of an interesting spot because Pluto is going to be sitting at 28 of Scorpio, if you know Antasia, and be making a square in that way and be making some very extreme aspects. But also this moon in Cancer is going to come into Leo and create a T-square to Mars. And Mars being the dispositor of this North Node with Chiron, the pressure of already this intensity and the volatility and the extreme energy of Mars that wants to move, but it's like so slow in Taurus, and all this energy in Gemini wanting to go and get quick, and it's going to square Saturn the whole time. And then Mercury doing so fast and going to come up that even after we get out of the weekend after this new moon, then it's Mercury square Saturn. And with Mars squaring Pluto, this is where people are going to blow up. Things will blow up in the world too. People will lose their anger. People are going to, who have been in denial, are going to have to face it, and it's not going to be a pretty sight. So my wishes for you in your life is to stay safe, because there's going to be so many out of the billions of souls that are on this planet that haven't faced any truth yet and have been in such deniability that you're going to start to watch people explode energetically. They're going to get mad. There's going to be people who won't understand some of the things that start to happen in the world, whether it is war shit, whether it is more of this stuff of the vax and what's really in it popping out. It's not made in some lab. There was no fucking shit. It was electric shit that fucking, they fooled you to go take whatever the fuck's in that. And I think the alien shit that's in that will scare the bejesus out of people. I don't think they're going to come out with that this week, but what people don't believe is possible is about to show its head. But really, I've been trying to show you it's been doing that the whole time. So to me, I'm like, whatever. But to most, it's reached that point of truth that gets over deniability on the collective scale. So no, you didn't come here to watch a new moon horoscope and get some fluff. It's Gemini, and this is some rough shit. I mean, already this Mars square Pluto is going to be intense for the first time with Pluto being in Aquarius. And what is that also? Why is that so important? Well, you know, Pluto being Aquarius, you disposit that over to Uranus because Uranus rules Aquarius. This is in Taurus. Oh, and that means that Mars and Uranus are starting to come together. So that's activating the Mars-Uranus conjunction that's coming up here in July. Oh. And it's going to be squaring Pluto? Oh, and both rulers of Scorpio are going to be in square, and now the opposite and squared house, and the moon will be in the other squared house to Scorpio? By the time that we literally get, and this is crazy because this is all by fucking, I have so many charts I showed people right here. Sunday at 1:35 p.m. This is going to be the fastest, like, kid on a bike falling down a cliff and watching it happen that we've ever watched in the world. Pray he's got a helmet on. Pray he doesn't have myocarditis. You know, because like the other part of the shattered reality is like, I hate to be this guy, but I have no problem doing it. Because I had thousands of customers write me like, I can't watch you anymore like in 2021 because I get it. They fell for it. But like they have nothing they can say now. They have nothing they can say now. Right? Like this came out in the fucking news on newspapers. I guess we're in a world to where when it's finally in the press, literally on ink, enough money nowadays to print it in ink. Oh, yeah. The excess deaths. Yeah. Okay. People told me that I was insane that this would come out. It's just come out. Or look at this guy put finally mainstream media is acknowledging it, and this is from RFK Jr. We already know about the laptop shit, but I want to show you this other little study thing, and it's not really little. It's actually the most terrifying study right here. The nail in the coffin to all the vaccine fanatics. Out of an Oxford study of 30,000 plus children, zero benefit from that COVID vaccination. Zero. We have a whole Pluto-Saturn generation of Capricorn, right? We have a whole generation of Pluto Capricorns that got it. And if you look at what happened to the generation of when you always think of, well, back in the mid ages, you know, like back in the 1500s, back in the, you know, kids didn't last a long time. People died in their 30s or in their 20s. All of that data is from after the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in 1517 and 15 to 18. So we have a bunch of parents around the world who just literally turn their kids into medieval. And if you don't believe the study, it's in preprint coming out right now. And it's sad because we're in that moment where people are literally like in the worst, like will not ever Look at this. So you can go look at this. I've retweeted it. It's all there. It's not just some conspiracy shit. I mean, you know, I'm sorry. This is the way the election should have looked, but then that out of nowhere, like, oh, the blue just goes up out of nowhere. That's what we also saw in the unnatural of this vaccination, of deaths. So when you look at the election of 2020, that's the same kind of way the charts are for the vaccinated in their deaths. No coincidence. So to end on some sort of happy note here, I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy. But I'm positive because at least, you know what? I know I've lived in my truth. That's been the test for the last 4 years in your life. Now, I'm not a religious person because that's the next thing that's shattering realities for a lot of people. But I am a God person. I am a spiritual person. I do believe in God. I do believe in a creator. I do believe in the most beautiful of all creator. And I hope for those out there, you can't, this is my last call, and I haven't made a last call. I've just said, like, you need to start getting on top of this and figuring it out now, because I believe there's always a way through. But the truth is, if you're going to just, you know, take a shit, wipe because there was only one piece of toilet paper left, and walk out through your day and not go wipe your fucking ass, you're going to start smelling like shit. It's going to feel like shit in between your fucking cheeks. Now I'm at the place to where it's like, okay, like, don't go rolling in your bed in it. Now you rolled in your bed in it. Like, the denial is so high. And, but it's all actually even more extreme than that. It's literally that the events now, from this point forward with this new moon and what comes through by this weekend, you're look at all the solar flare activity. I have videos talking about that for over 10 years on my YouTube here. Connecting it with the Pluto-Uranus squares, and we're in a Pluto-Uranus square. Once Mars comes in, ingresses into Taurus, and that moon crosses over into Leo, after this new moon, while the sun's squaring Saturn, the house in Kansas is never in Kansas ever again. The world. We are going to experience a world that you didn't ever think could happen. Now, this is part of the prophecies, but it also at the same time is, you know, if we're going to become a better and a higher collective, and that is high vibe, you can't be in denial. The lowest vibe is denial. You know, and I think that when people associate the idea of like being high vibe, especially, it's ironic because I own a network called High Vibe TV, that they think high vibe has to look like super spiritual and do a mantra and wear a nice shirt or whatever. But that, do you know what it's like? There's only a minor part of the population that chose not to do this. And we got gaslit, told that we can't go live our lives, that we were killing people, that we were the ones creating a virus, everything. Okay? I'm sorry to tell you, but we're tough motherfuckers. And there are so many weak ass people out there, especially, I'll just stick to my own area, astrology for a sec here. So many weak ass astrologers cannot confront this at all, will not talk about it, told you to go do it, and have been dead silent about all of it. And you know what? When I watch some of their videos, which I barely do, but if I do, I can look into their eyes and I can see their soul is tripping out at night, because I know they're an astrologer. But I also don't know what's in that shit. The origins of everything, including what's in that, are all linked from some weird ass shit. Shit that we don't even really want to know. But that's where we can either all cross together to come together as one, as all people, to help find solutions and fix things, or stay in your echo chamber. And you think I'm in an echo chamber. I'm not. Me and a couple others were right. We said it would exactly happen like this. I have all the fucking receipts for years. Every day. For the last 4 of them. Every day for the last 12 plus. And I gave you warnings since 2017 specifically on this, before you even had an idea this shit would happen. And it wasn't because I was following some fucking conspiracy theory. It all came from just astrology and history. That you can no longer fuck around. Whatever that, and if you're trying to find some shiny new object, person, money, something that makes you think that it's going to make you feel better, it's not. It's going to be the most temporary thing, and then you're going to feel like, shit, I have to face the real shit. And that's denial. Denial that the world that we're watching is a reality show. Denial that that reality show was used with ill intent and is still being used with ill intent to intentionally fuck us over as a collective. And what's the benefit? The benefit is if we get out of this denial as a collective, which is a majority, right? We're talking about 75% of the population fell for that shit. That if we're in that high of a denial, how are we going to move forward if we can't fix the other 75% that fell for it? How are we going to fix you guys? How are we going to get all the real scientists in the world to fix it? How are we going to get, there's already millions have died. Millions. Tens of millions. People dying every day. You think Pluto and Capricorn is going to be fun when it comes back in September? It's not a conversation that anybody wants to have, but I'm willing to give it to you for this new moon. Because whether it's a job you're in or it's the biggest thing in the world of the control system that was implanted by Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter in 2020 and then at the beginnings of 2021, which I told you for years, and it did happen, that you got to remove that implant. And unfortunately, it's such a deep implant that we're going to need the whole collective to get out of the denialism to find the way to fix this shit. Face to Face is my favorite song from Daft Punk, and I recommend you watch that music video, even though it's part of Interstellar 5555, the story of the secret star system. The only way that they're able to get back home and to actually deal with their shit is coming together and revealing and stop being in denial. And that we're at a place to where so many people they're wanting the world to be different. They're wanting to find something more meaningful. They're wanting to feel stimulated, but they're not. And it's even hard for those of us who, let's say, didn't go down that road. Because when the whole collective, as the majority of it is in denial, it's going to leave the biggest hole. The only thing that brings spark in life is truth. The only thing that brings authenticity in this life is truth. The only thing in this world that brings anything of value is truth. And on top of that, the only thing that actually gives us the spark to actually be curious about new and exciting things in life is when you're not in denial. And now it's also not just denial, it's you have to have a voice and speak up. You have to speak up. You can't hide. I'm afraid I'll be canceled. And you know what people say? I'm not afraid of being canceled. You know what? So many people are. They won't even do a video like this. I don't give a fuck. I've never been afraid the whole fucking time. It's not about my pocketbook, because I'll put it out there. In April of 2021, I had 13,000 paying subs here on High Vibe. I'm down to 3,000. Lost 10,000 people. You do the math yourself. You do the math yourself in your head and be like, damn, Leo King, fuck, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm that astrologer that did it. But also, once I got it, I said, I don't give a fuck, because I built the platform for truth. And fucking, I don't care if people run away. It's fucking truth. I'm going to live my 5-1, my LAX distraction 1 fucking cross. I'm going to live my fucking manifesting generator pure fucking. I'm going to just use all 7 channels, use my double Leo, use all of my dignified positions of Mars and Scorpio, Sun, Leo, fucking my exalted moon and Taurus, and I'm going to fucking deliver the fucking truth to people. I don't give a fuck. Because we're in a world that's so Aquarian and so Piscean with Neptune and fucking all this crazy shit with Pluto and Aquarius that people are so lost. And there's no more well, the universe is always forgiving, but the universe isn't providing any more rest stops or any more denialism stops. And so the world's going to get crazier because of that. And the whole time, and people are going to think, well, what do we have to do? Get out of, you need to get your friend, you need to get your family member, you need to get whoever it is and tell them, hey, you need to start paying attention. I care about you. And it's not about doing what you all did to us, right? Like, oh, you shouldn't be able to go to stores. You should. No. It's quite the opposite. Because if you're a true light worker, you know you came here to go not be the rescuer, but be the hand that helps people up when they all fall down. When their whole world gets shattered. And I'm here to tell you that on this new moon, and the days that the sun is with Venus here, which is always about a 3.5 day when it's in the inferior conjunction, because it's Venus and the Earth finally coming out of their opposition. But they walk together, and they're walking together on this new moon through the exact 3 degrees of where you saw both eclipses of Venus from the transit of Venus of 2004 and 2012. And now at midpoint, but all 3, and then coming to square Saturn. Mercury retrograde was there. I mean, I can go on for hours, but it's like, yo, there is no more inauthentic truth allowed. There is no more falling for this show. It's all been a show. The only shitty part is the show is always trying to sell you something. And people think it's what they're trying to sell you now. It's what they did with that dark shit in Capricorn. And also where the planetary south nodes of Saturn and Pluto are. And this Cancer season is going to be rough as fuck, because when the sun comes in there, that's where the planetary north node of Saturn and Pluto are. And that's where the next new moon's going to be. So there's not a lot of time left. And I'm sorry to those that won't get this message or won't listen to it. I'm sorry. I wish it could get to you. I wish that I could give you better info, but I'm not going to also bullshit you. I'm going to be as Gemini truth and North Node as I can be. I fucking have been telling you the whole time for so fucking long. So I can at least, whenever my day comes that I'm off this planet, go, I fucking showed up every time. I gave everybody their warnings. I told them it would happen. It did. They still didn't want to listen. Okay. At least I fucking went all the way. And I guarantee you're not going to hear this on any other fucking horoscope. You're going to go hear fucking the same old shit. Go listen to their new moon and fucking Gemini horoscope from last year, and it's going to sound the same. So let's pull cards. And yeah, by the way, I know people, out there in the YouTube world miss my Deep Love Tarot, of course. So I'm going to be bringing something like that back. I'm still trying to figure it out, but like the join High Vibe. Lost 10,000 people. I have a baby now. I have a family. I fucking came through with the truth. Sorry that you didn't like how I had to, but. And you know what? If you don't, it's okay. I'm at a place in my life where it's just about as long as I'm able to get that truth out to people. And I've had like 10 people tell me like, well, maybe a lot of those people died. And I was like, what's kind of crazy? It's true. So. Yeah, somebody said they encountered just a job application about the vaccine. I don't want to keep sharing my screen, but it just came out that the FDA and the CDC are tracking the unvaccinated right now in hospitals because they want to know who are they going to be the people who are still alive and shit like that. And I'm like, wow. Do you remember that insurance companies have paid out so much money, life insurance companies, especially to corporate people, because those are the people that got mandated for the shot, right? That's where we've seen the data of the excess deaths that can guarantee of all the life insurance payouts for all these people 40 years and old and younger, right? Like it's never happened, and it wasn't from COVID. Right. So it's like, and the one thing they have in common is they were all vaccinated. So the reason why job applications are going to start asking for it and shit like that is it's coming to it's shitty because we're coming back to Pluto Capricorn in September, right? It's that Capricorn world that's just like, the health insurance isn't going to cover you, or life insurance plan, because now the payroll systems are going to start integrating that here and all that. And I know you think that I'm fucking insane. But when you start hearing sirens here in America that are going to be ones that blow you away, and you're going to think that's nothing. And again, and I've told people, and I guess this is the typical new moon Gemini, right? But for me, my 10th house with Jupiter, and I was doing this homeless. Go look at my fucking YouTube channel for June 5th, June 6th of 2012. I was outside with a laptop. But I can tell you that if you're a doctor and you gave those shots, I'd just quit your job to save your life, because people are going to come running like the transits we're in now. The first riot in America after the Constitution was ratified and after George Washington was inaugurated the first president, the first riot in America was the doctors' riot, where doctors were doing experiments by going into the graveyards at night in America, in New York, and pulling out the dead bodies of family members and stuff in the graves to do experiments at night. People in New York finally figured it out. They all came to where the doctors were, and they came and they fucking killed the doctors. What do you think's going to happen when all these family physicians, the tech behind the pharmacy counter that you see at CVS, and they lost a loved one, or they're fucking sick, or they've got fucking myocarditis, or they're fucking got, they're having breathing problems. They just had a surgery for something. They're having blood clots. You really want to be that person on the other side of the fucking teller? All right. Hangman reversed. Well, doesn't look like the collective, people think the Hangman's a bad card. The Hangman's actually a card where you can actually see what's actually going on above all these people that can't. People are in denial, and so now it's people are in their own echo chamber. Now, they feel free, though, in that space. But this is not the time for us. We need to be very observant. Gemini is very it doesn't, especially with the square to Saturn, it's time for us to be in the Hangman position, not the opposite. So if you're trying to just escape out of anything right now, that's the worst thing that you could be doing. King of Swords reversed. I mean, this is very telling that people are not feeling confident in their mind about what truth is, and so they're willing to not even want to face what it is or even look for it anymore. They just want to find whatever will satisfy them quick style. I'm going to see spiritually what the advice is here. It's so funny that I read that comment from Have a Happy Day. It's not about me. It's really not. This is the job of a 5-1. I've got the fucking data, the foundation, and my line is about universality. It's transpersonal. A left angle being is not here to fulfill my own needs. I don't even have needs. I already knew who I was when I came down here. It wasn't like I had to go find myself. It's not about me. It's about sharing the info to get people to wake up, to fucking, as even Ra would say, to fucking knock over the apple cart and get everybody fucking to wake up. And it's going to be a rude awakening. And I use the astrology for the timing of when it says to do it, because it literally is channeling the energy, and I can't stop myself because I'm transpersonal anyway, and I'm 12th house, and here it is, there you go. It's not like I came here this is what I'm going to say. I don't even know. I just show up and fucking do the thing. You know what I mean? So, if you think this has been about me, well, trust me, I would have not talked about any of this shit. I would have kowtowed the line like all these other astrologers, and I would have just fucking found a way to keep those extra 10,000 people I lost. And you just do the math. I charge over $10 a month. Okay? You do that math in your head, a month of people. Okay? So, for somebody to even come here and try and say, fucking, stop trying to fucking make it about, trying to prove yourself or whatever. It ain't even about that. It's just literally about just remember at that moment, when I was saying shadow reality, I just showed you that the transits have now come to the place where there is no more escaping the shattered glass that is going to come toppling down on this reality that already has been. That's it. All right. What is the spiritual? The spiritual advice is the Tower card. So no deniability. I mean, this is actually what the Tower is. The deniability that the storm is even coming. Oh, no, it's not. We're in my castle. We're safe and all that shit. There's not going to be a storm. It's not going to fucking do. Oh, my God. There is, the way I look at this Seven of Pentacles is there is a way, after all the rubble that happens, to make something of it. And that's what we need to be focused on. Stop looking for some diversion. It's going to affect every single person on this planet. You're not the one in control fully, right? You really are not. Can't just spiritually bypass and just jump a dimension and think that you're going to jump some sort of timeline or keep listening to these people channeling aliens and being trance channelers and saying that, you know, we're going through a multi-dimensional shift and you're just going on your own timeline. That sounds like a fucking exact way that in the Matrix that the fucking machines sucked you into a fucking pot. That's what it sounds like. I'll put one more. The star card. At least we got that. There is going to be a complete restart here, but it's not now. It does feel like it's next year, but it does also feel like this moment is about preparing yourself and understanding what's coming in order to get us to that spot and to reconnect to our truth and to follow the divinity and to follow the seven sisters, which is ironic because that's where Jupiter just left, is the Pleiades. Star cluster. And Pluto's coming back to retrograde and trine it. That's one thing that people don't mention about. Well, I appreciate you all, and I really do hope this message gets to people that need it. And you know, it's gonna, for those that know this stuff and want something more, it's as simple as it's gonna be a really bumpy ride here. And this is a new moon about how you enjoy the bumpy ride and find life in it, curiosity in it, that you can let go of anything from the past that you still have questions about. Right? That isn't doing harm to you because it's a fact it's not. And start to write the new story, but also being flexible to have your eraser out because the environment that surrounds us is going to be changing so much. We're going to have to do a lot of edits with Saturn in square to Jupiter all year and in the next year. And this week is a lot of facing, for some, the past, and for others, like I've been telling people on High Vibe, the introverse world is over. What will keep you alive and what will keep you through is the extrovert now. That we have ended the phase of introversion. So I appreciate you all very much. Truth is the only way that will set you free. That's the only vibe there is that is high. And I hope that you find it, and you only know you do because you speak truth. You be truth. And God gave you a voice. God gave you the ability to speak truth. It's the greatest gift that was ever given. And that's what this Sun, Venus, that's what this Jupiter, Mercury, trine Pluto, and Aquarius is. The only thing that is of value is those that speak truth to the world and to others, and to not push things on them, but present things and let people, whether they accept it or not. People have to learn to accept things. Like you, and if they don't, then there's nothing wrong with them. That's on their own. But if you're not flexing that gift in your life or living by that gift, what are you doing? Everything is a question now. What are you doing? Why not? Because if you want to look at the last part, evolutionary wise, this is what is holding you back from your truth that is simple, but you have created it to be such a full bag of shit that you're just like, So stop self-undoing the greatest gifts of truth that you are. I appreciate you all. It'd be great to see you on High Vibe in the community and on the website and on the apps and in the videos. I love you all very much. Take care. Happy new moon. And I'm bummed that I can't do spiritual dance music here on YouTube anymore. I do it on Twitch, but the video only stays on for 7 days, so you have to be a High Vibe subscriber. And I don't do that intentionally. I still put it out for free, the only place that I can. But it only lasts 7 days, so they don't store the recordings. So I appreciate you all. Bye-bye.
Beat monster.